Hey everybody, here's another edition of Inside Edition on the Epic Podcast. So it's me, Edric, and yeah, it's December. So I thought I'd start off with a year in review. Now, I don't do this very often, so I thought maybe I'd just do something like this and a little off the cuff. You know, the aim of the podcast has always been to humanize the CEO, and something I haven't done is humanize myself, which is really strange, you know. So 2025 has been a year of ups and downs, a great amount of learning, and I'm here to share them with you. I'm going to break this down into 3 chapters. First of all, based on my roles. Number 1 as a podcaster, number 2 as a business owner, and number 3 as, well, overall, a human being. So let's get started. So again, 2025 was really a year of learning, a lot of reflection, and pivots. Now, let me start off as a podcaster. What is the real learning there? What was great about this year was that I was so fortunate to be able to move from the usual content I do to meeting people in the impact industry. You know, it was one of those 3 a.m. moments things where I started thinking about, what is it that I think I should start doing more of? And philanthropy, impact, just charity work, things like that had always come up. And that kind of led me down the road of creating more content based on what's closer to your heart. Not so much on the trends. I mean, if that's your business, that's your business. I get it. But I feel I'm leveling up as a podcaster simply by following my heart a little bit more. In a recent episode of the podcast, Raj from IPC Group, who's also the new chairman, right, of the Rotary Club, Singapore, he said that what I was doing was very impactful. Now, coming from him, it was very interesting to hear that because, again, I always thought that the podcast was just for listening, for learning, but I never realized that I myself am making an impact somewhere. And despite me telling people that, you know, even a small impact is still impact. It just didn't feel real to me. Now I'm beginning to understand it, and I guess I'm investing in my own stock. You know, strangely enough, as I started doing that, prospective sponsors began opening up to me and telling me that they understand that 200 to 300 doesn't sound like a lot in terms of your subscriber base. I mean, that's where I'm at, right? But it's fully organic and there is a relationship with your audience. So that's good. That's actually more important than it is to have the 10,000 subscribers. Okay, the numbers are great. Numbers are important. But on a podcast level, they finally understand that it's content marketing. It's not digital marketing. So it's a big difference in that aspect. So if you're listening out there, right, I do recommend, especially if you're a podcaster, to those in the community, please, it's important that you keep going. Show that you're in the game. Having the number of subscribers is one thing, but you also have to keep maintaining your presence, not just on social media, but make sure that your content continues to grow, continues to evolve, and don't be afraid to change. I think as we go on in our lives, different stages, we will change, we will evolve, and again, we evolve. We may lead our audience with us, or in fact, we may just go with what our audience wants. But it's really up to you. On my end, I'm just going to do me. And I mean, look, if you're listening and you're still following, right, I appreciate you very much. Thank you, because this is where we are today because of you. All right, so please keep sharing what we're doing. And also, don't forget to follow your heart in terms of your content. Okay. Now, second chapter is on being a business owner. What have I learned so far? When I started the business, Kaleidoscopic Communications, or KS Comms, number 1, I thought that it was going to be all fine and dandy. You know, everything's going to be hunky-dory. Obviously not. Months and months, didn't get money, didn't understand how to get investments in. I still don't. But the difference was that I was always persistent in trying to get money in. So that's good, right? Never wanting to give up. The feeling was always there, don't get me wrong. I did feel like this is not worth it anymore. I didn't want to do that. I was looking for jobs and stuff. And I realized, hey, look, you are planting seeds with the effort that you're putting in now. But that was killing me as well because I did not have a balanced lifestyle. I was still waking up at 3 a.m., figuring out what I needed to do, worried about the next day. I was also going through a very challenging time, and of course, getting a little bit more spiritual as I went along as well. And something to always take note is, or a great reminder for me, was always to worry about today, because today's worries are enough. So worry about tomorrow. Focus on what you have to worry about today. Things will work out. The universe will take care of you if your heart's in the right place. So because of that, I've been able to now balance my lifestyle a bit more. I never spent my days thinking about what's happening tomorrow. It's just about, okay, look, we'll plant the seeds for today, see what happens tomorrow. And more importantly, focus on your efficiencies. I was focusing on my efficiencies so that I know that rewards are coming, but don't have to stress over working 8 hours a day when that could have been done in 3 hours. So which means that if I finish the job in 3 hours, I worry for 5 hours. Doesn't make sense. If you're going to work for those 3 hours, make it count and enjoy the other 5 hours that you have. That was what I was missing. And when it came to the pivot, okay, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about why this pivot came about. I was running a business fully focused on podcast pre-production, production, even post-production, not knowing that I couldn't do all of it by myself. I couldn't find the right partners. I thought I could take it on, but that was crazy. Okay? Eventually, I started focusing more on what my strengths are, pre-production, hosting, and I pivoted to opening myself up to more work as a B2B conference MC, and also from there, doors opened up. I was asked to do moderation. I was asked to speak at 1 or 2 conferences about content creation, about hosting. And now I want to be able to also coach students in how to be a better host, how to be a better interviewer, how to start your content creation adventures. So it's all opening up because of that pivot. And I'm glad, because when the money started coming in, again, don't get me wrong, I am making enough to get by, but I'm far from where I want to be, okay, for the family. But nonetheless, I'm very, very happy knowing that the friends that I've made along the way, I'm ever grateful to my counterparts in the mice industry who have always remembered me and somehow or other have always had the confidence in the skill set and talent that I bring to the table. When it comes to stage, when it comes to communication, I appreciate you. Thank you. Because of that, there's food on the table for my family, and I'm eternally grateful. The biggest pain that I had to go through this year was that I was feeling useless. Feeling useless because of the days that I didn't have work. We're so used to the 9 to 5. I completely could not wrap my head around it until this year, where I started to believe that I've planted the seeds. Move forward. Keep moving forward. And enjoy yourself. So yeah, that's what I've started to do, and I'm fortunate enough to make a good fraction of my last drawn salary with 20% of the hours that I used to put in. If that was worth it all, if you think that's worth it, then perhaps that's a road that that we look forward to, but also we have to be very grateful. It's a luxury to be able to be in that position, and I am very, very grateful. Okay, so last thing about being human. All right. Yeah, I think this year was really the revelation of how to run that business as a person. Who is Edric? And that how can I be more compassionate? I think compassion is really the word, because 80% of your problems in life, at work, or wherever are human related. Only 20% is really based on your skill sets, right? I mean, of course, we're not talking about STEM. I'm saying just in my work, 80% of my problems are human related. So that's what I should be focusing on rather than, thinking about, what are the technical things I need to get better at? What's the proficiencies? I have to get something done and I have to get it done right. But that doesn't shift the needle. 80% of my problems are human related. So I've decided early on this year that everything should be about service and compassion. And that's where I'm at. And somehow or other that has paid off in many, many ways, right? Again, this is coming from some of the spirituality stuff. Maybe, I'm not afraid to say it, but please bear with me, because that is coming from a religious standpoint of being Catholic. These things are getting closer and closer to me, and somehow or other that's driving me in this direction as well. Okay, so moving forward, I think every day is going to be something that I have to remind myself to live a life of gratitude, continue to be grateful, be compassionate, to myself, to my clients, support them in what they need, and the dollar value of that will be so high, because no service will be provided to you with that amount of compassion at so-called rack rate. People will see value in that, and eventually that becomes a long-term customer, a friend, and somebody that you can welcome at any moment in time. Another thing to take note is that don't be so impatient. The seeds that you plant today will bear fruit. Sometimes, if you're a bit of a green thumb, you'll understand. Like, say, for example, planting chilies. They'll bear fruit really quickly. You water them, give them enough sun, they'll bear fruit really quickly. But some will only fruit much later, sometimes in years. And like cactuses or cacti, right? So some will just seem to take forever, but the seeds you plant will bear fruit. Be patient. It's taken me 2 years of running this business and telling everybody that podcasting is important. And it's only recently that the target audience or target market that I am gunning for, that the industry that I want to serve, is starting to see that. And in the coming years, I know that I'll be the first one on the list that they look for. And once again, I'm very grateful for that opportunity. So that being said, I wish all of you a wonderful day, a wonderful holiday season, and to those who celebrate Christmas, God bless, enjoy your Christmas, and have yourselves a wonderful New Year and a powerful 2026 ahead. I'll see you guys in the podcasting space real soon. There are more episodes to come because I am recording them as we speak. All right. So thanks once again. Keep listening and keep moving forward. I'll see you in the next episode of the Epic Podcast. Ciao, everyone.